Welcome to twoquestions.tv. With me today is James Whittaker, and we're talking about prosperity and success. Welcome to twoquestions.tv. I'm Susan Baroncini-Moe. Joining me today is James Whittaker. He's a best-selling author and co-founder of several companies in health and fitness, and he's the co-executive producer of the 2017 film Think and Grow Rich: The Legacy, and author of this, the companion book. Hey, James, welcome to the show.
How are you, Susan?
Great. Hey, we share a publisher.
Sound Wisdom, I know. Shout out to Sound Wisdom, amazing people. I actually heard that a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot to mention it to you, so I'm happy you brought it up.
Who knew? I'm so excited. They're so awesome.
They're an amazing group of people. I'm really fortunate to have them on board. Obviously, they know what they're doing because they published I've actually got it here. They got the original Think and Grow Rich and a lot of the other books from the Napoleon Hill Foundation. So surely you can't go too wrong with the publishers of Think and Grow Rich. So super excited that they're on board for Think and Grow Rich: The Legacy.
Exactly. They're phenomenal, and they've been so good to me. So I was so happy when I didn't even know, and I opened the book and I'm like, wait, what? Oh my gosh.
A pleasant surprise.
So, hello, we're family members. So, okay, in the book, one of the things you said that really stood out to me was prosperity flows to those who plan and take consistent, purposeful action to get there. And that's something I've been trying to explain to my clients for years, that there's something about having a plan and taking action to just get there. And that when you do that, unexplainable, unexpected things just happen to support you. And it's kind of bigger than just what you're doing to work toward your plan. So what do you think that is? How does that work? What's the deal?
Well, I think people need to look back at the background of a lot of those things. And it's that when we grow up or when we're born, you look at children, as soon as they're born, or when they're very young, they want to crawl around the floor and they want to touch things and put things in their mouths and experience these new sensations and experiences. And they test out their voices and everything. But as they start to get older, they find themselves reprimanded by their parents. A lot of the time it's for good reason. Then they go into elementary school and high school and they start to get reprimanded by their teachers, and then they enter the workforce and start to get reprimanded by their bosses, and slowly their inner voice starts to become muffled. And then people wake up one day, whether it's when they're 20 years old or 30 years old or 40 years old, and the question they ask themselves is, how did I get here? But the question they need to ask themselves is, where do I want to go and how can I put a plan in place to get there? And the very first step about that is getting super clear on what they want, very clear and detailed. They need to come up with an amazing plan to help themselves get there. And this plan isn't something that you just draw out once and then put in a drawer. It's something that needs to be adaptable and evolve with every little success and failure that you have, as long as you're moving forward. And you need to surround yourself with the right people who can help you get there, which is one of the most important principles of success, is the mastermind group, and has certainly been very profound in my own life. These are the things that you need to do, and as well as clearing out your environment of any negative influence. And once you start to do this consistently, so there are two types of people. There are people who just don't do it at all, and then there are people who do it a little bit and then wonder why it's not working. And I think it's the consistent application of a proven set of success principles that Napoleon Hill calls the achievement philosophy. That is what separates ordinary people from extraordinary achievers over time, the ones who apply it consistently. So people who wake up one day, they just need to really reframe their situation and think about what they want and come up with a plan to help them get there.
Okay, so I imagine a lot of people who, I think we both know, a lot of people who aren't yet successful read Think and Grow Rich, but a lot of people who are successful either have read it or now want to read it, right? It's a classic. So someone's watching today and maybe they've had success, they're looking to achieve more, maybe find more meaning in life. Where could they go now in the next stage, in the next chapter?
Well, there is so much out there. Never before have we been in a time where we have access to basically everything that was ever created at our fingertips. it's amazing, like a simple internet search, and you can get any resource that you want. Even 20 years ago, when we used to talk about how good it was to have bookstores and libraries, but now we've got thousands of podcasts and shows like this one. You have instant access to some of the most, well, all of the most brilliant minds who ever lived. So I think people need to get very clear on what success looks like for them and track down the resources that can help them get there. And as a starting point, yeah, the books, they're amazing, and I would highly recommend that as the first step. There are people who don't like reading, so they can go to audiobooks and podcasts, and even there are documentaries out there and video programs that you can take. There are so many different resources available to you. But I think another really important point is making sure they surround themselves with winners. And there might be people watching this who are sitting at home on the couch thinking, well, that's easy for these people. Like, what can I do to go and find some of these people who could possibly be of tremendous value to my life and help catapult them to success? Well, they need to find out what success looks like for them, find out where those people hang out. Maybe they're speaking at a conference, maybe they're attending an event, and they need to actually get out of their comfort zone, really embrace the struggle of this, because it is a very long, challenging process. They need to get out of their comfort zone and make it happen, and maybe even partner up with someone else who has similar dreams so that they can hold each other accountable and spur each other on along the way.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I think people think that it's really hard to talk to successful people, or it's really hard to get access to successful people. And the reality is, I found doing this show and others that once you figure out kind of how it all works, it's shockingly easy. And not only that, but there are some jerks out there, but there are some amazing people. And most people who are really, truly successful, I have found, have no problem being generous with their time, responding to an email or a phone call. And people are a lot nicer than I think people realize.
Yeah, it's so true. One of my favorite quotes is the Wayne Gretzky quote that says, "You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take." Like the ones who are sitting there at home without even trying to be successful, they really can't blame their circumstances for why they're where they are. They need to actually get out there and really, really try, because history has proven time and time again that any misfortune or perceived disadvantage that people have, it really is irrelevant. People can be extraordinary achievers from all backgrounds. And I think a really important point of success is, once you spend all that grind trying to meet all these people of value, is that you actually start to attract a lot of opportunities in your life. Yes. And I've really seen that in the last few years. You go away from trying to chase these things, which is so important at the very start, to one day you open up your inbox or your phone rings or you get a text message about an amazing opportunity because you have put in the work. But that doesn't happen. Dr. Dennis Kimbro says success only comes when you've paid the price in advance and in full. And I absolutely love that, because it is so true. You've got to prove to the universe that you are worthy of every success that you need.
There are really no overnight successes. I think that's the point. There might be someone who's lurking and they're paying their dues. That's what they're doing. But then all of a sudden they show up and it seems like they just were an overnight success, but they weren't. All right, bonus round. Tell me about the movie and how you got involved, how it all happened.
The movie's been it's been somewhat of a whirlwind project. So I ended up meeting the Think Rich Films team in Santa Monica, and straight away I think they understood and appreciated that I really understood the vision that they had for the project, that we were really trying to do something completely groundbreaking for a book that had been the best-selling self-help book for over 80 years with more than 120 million copies sold. So I just asked them if they had anything planned on the book side. So they were really happy to. I actually said that they should. I wrote them a bit of an outline of what they could do if they wanted to go and find an author who could write this, and they asked me if I could do it, and I said, I'll knock this out of the park for you. I think this would be amazing. So that's when I joined the project as author of the book and co-executive producer of the film. We had a big premiere in downtown LA a few months ago. It was sold out. We had more than 800 people there from memory. It was an amazing night. It was great to meet so many people, and all the feedback from the film and the book so far has been overwhelmingly positive. And yeah, if people want to go and check it out, they can head over to tgrmovie.com, where if they go on right now, they can be among the first in the world to watch the film and also receive an instant download of the ebook. Yeah, it's been an amazing project and just gives us an opportunity to really positively impact the lives of tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people over the next 10, 20 years.
Super cool. And the book is great. The book has, I sort of felt like the book is almost like the practical application of the original. And I think, you know, we all have ideas about, you know, you and I probably read a lot of more books than most people, but one of the distinctions between business books or personal development books for me is there are the books that are theory, and there are the books that are application and practical. And when you can combine those, you have something really magical and something actually really super effective. And I felt like this is kind of like that. This is that book. So I'm giving it one of my highest recommendations.
Thank you very much. I wasn't interested in writing something that was just theoretical based. It needed to be heavily practical and heavily inspirational, because
right.
the people who were mentioned in the original Think and Grow Rich, like Andrew Carnegie and Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, people nowadays, they just don't really identify as much with, but people like Barbara Corcoran and Bob Proctor and Rob Dyrdek, right. Lewis Howes, Grant Cardone, Janine Shepherd. There are dozens more, these amazing people from, you know, so many different countries and basically right. every industry that you can think of. We've got people from, I think, the ages of 25 right through to the age maybe 80 something as well. There is something for everyone in this book. And yeah, if people don't like one particular story, they can just flick forward a couple of pages, because it really is, it's not only the framework of the original principles from Think and Grow Rich, it's got some amazing, it's a collection of short stories from these incredible journeys that people have been on, all these various business leaders and entrepreneurs from different industries. So super excited to have as many people in the world read it as they can.
And Brandon's in the book. Brandon Adams. He was on the show.
Oh, fantastic. I love Brandon. He's become actually a very close friend of mine. So I'm very grateful to have him in my life. He's been an amazing guy, and I know how excited he is for the project too. So he's I think the youngest cast member, has an incredible story. He keeps going from strength to strength. We often joke about this crazy roller coaster life we're on. So he's an amazing guy.
Great. Well, James, thank you so much for being on the show.
No problem, Susan. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, viewers, this is the book, and we're going to have a link to the book down here in the show notes from Amazon so that you can get your copy. And we're going to link to the movie as well, so you can be one of the first to watch it. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.